People often think they know Natasha, but do they really? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, Amanda, and today we're going to put your knowledge to the test as we count down the top 10 secret powers you never knew Black Widow had. Or did you? Number 10. Eternally Young. A lot of people think of Black Widow Natasha Romanova, or Romanoff, as most people know her thanks to her appearance in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where she's played by Scarlett Johansson, as just an average human. Well, not average, a human who just so happens to be one of the best spies in the entire world. I mean, I wouldn't call that average, would you? But while she is mortal and human, that doesn't mean she's the same as you or I. She may not have outright superpowers, but over the years her origin story and even her identity somewhat has changed. One of the things we'd come to notice about Natasha is that she is eternally young. But unlike someone like Spider-Man, who is pretty much eternally young in his 20s or 30s, just without any need for an explanation, as everyone around him also maintains their same age, and May, I'm looking at you, Natasha actually has a reason for this. She was genetically modified and as a result doesn't really age the same as most people, instead maintaining an eternally youthful appearance, remaining in peak physical condition for as long as she is still alive. Number 9. Her belt. Black Widow's belt isn't just a stylistic choice, it is actually something she uses in combat. The belt is often said to be made of or filled with explosives. I gotta be honest though, wearing a belt made of plastic explosives seems like it would be, well, both useful and kinda dangerous, especially if you end up getting caught in an explosion yourself. Then you're surrounded by explosives. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, why not show us you love us by clicking that like? Number 8. Russian Super Soldier. Those advancements we were talking about that keep her eternally young, that's not all she got with them. One of the things we'd come to learn about Natasha's origin is that she was actually experimented on when she was very young, coming under the care of the Red Room when she was but an infant. As such, she grew up being exposed to their version of the Super Soldier Serum. This increased her lifespan and also improved her immune system. It also is what allows Natasha to be so strong and resilient. Number 7. Wall crawling. Did you know Black Widow can wall crawl like Spider-Man? Which also I think makes some sense since we call her Black Widow, a little bit. Well, that's true. Although this one is not a superpower, but instead it's sort of a secret ability you may have not known about. In the Mighty Avengers Most Wanted files, this is explained as being an ability she possesses thanks to suction cups built into her suit. Honestly, you would think if this was a thing it would be kinda noticeable, but nah-uh, because those suction cups are actually microscopic, meaning that she can also look good, not terribly ridiculous or gaudy while she wall crawls, and making it almost look like this is a superpower she possesses, when really, it's all in her suit. She must have a lot of them though, because I don't know if microscopic suction cups have enough force to hold you actually onto a surface. But I suppose if you were covered in them, maybe. Anyways, comic book science, so we'll just let that one go. Number 6. Protected against illness. As part of the Red Room, Natasha and the other female spies had their bodies modified so that they are less susceptible to illness. Something that I kinda touched on earlier with the experimentation and everything, it grants them an improved immune system. But this doesn't just end there. It gets really creepy. But before we get into that, I also wanted to add that Nat has a small healing factor too as a result. It's believed she can heal 4 to 5 times faster than the average human. So yeah, she's no Wolverine or anything, but still, that's interesting to me. And even as a Black Widow fan, I didn't know until now that she had a healing factor, even if it feels, kind of minor in comparison to some other heroes in the Marvel Universe. However, that is not all her healing factor does. It has also been established in the comics that it prevents Black Widow and other agents from getting pregnant, as their bodies treat any potential pregnancies as illness, so that increased immune system, it's basically protecting them from pregnancy as well. Number 5. Resurrection. When Black Widow died in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I thought for sure she'd return and that perhaps her own film, while being presented as a prequel to us, would actually be a sequel, revealing this to the audience. I was wrong in that regard. However, there is a precedent for me to have considered that the MCU might go this route. It actually comes from her comic book history. Here, Black Widow died while fighting against the evil Hydra version of Captain America. However, she was shortly thereafter revived, finding she even possessed the memory of her own death. It was revealed that she was a clone of the original with all her previous memories intact, and that the Red Room actually possessed tons of clones of her and others ready for their use. Black Widow would end up destroying this new version of the Red Room and would take the place of her original self. Now at this point, we don't even think of her as a clone, just as Black Widow. Still coming back from the dead and being revived is a pretty powerful thing, and I do still wonder if this might somehow ever be possible for Nat in the MCU. Probably they won't ever do this thanks to the introduction of Yelena, but I mean, there is a precedent for it. And yeah, I know this wasn't something Natasha had control over, so not really her own power, but it was something she was able to do. Return to life after dying. And that, to me, is pretty powerful. And like I said, something we all take for granted these days while reading her stories. Number 4. Master of Gravity. For a single issue of Tales of Suspense, Black Widow became a Master of Gravity. This was after she successfully used her seductive abilities to steal Tony Stark, aka Iron Man's, accidentally invented anti-gravity ray. I kid you not, apparently Tony invented this by accident. Also, back when Natasha had black hair. By the end of the issue, Iron Man had found a way to destroy the ray, preventing Natasha from wielding its power. Of course, this was back when Black Widow was a villain, hence why she stole it and why her and Iron Man were at odds here. But you know, for that one issue, hey, she could like move a mountain. Pretty cool. Number 3. Olympic level gymnast. While I don't have a ton of information on how or when, I think we can assume that for this one, Natasha probably got a lot of her training as part of the Red Room. Although it isn't something that comes up in the stories in the comics, at least not as far as I've seen. I have seen it mentioned, though, in the Marvel Encyclopedia. And I feel like based on the way Natasha moves and what she can do, it makes sense that she would be considered to be at an Olympic level when it comes to her gymnastic abilities. Especially when you consider she may have also been a trained ballerina, depending on which origins you prefer to believe to be the true one for Nat. I know her being a ballerina was kind of retconned, but I love that origin for her myself, and also just based on her fighting styles and abilities, I think this makes sense. She definitely seems both very strong but also very flexible. Could you imagine if Black Widow competed in the Olympics and won? That is a story I'd weirdly love to read. Someone out there, please write that one shot for me. Otherwise, I'll have to get started on the Black Widow fanfic myself. Although, honestly, would people read my Black Widow fanfics? Maybe. Number 2. Luck-based powers. While we don't know this one for sure, it definitely feels implied when we meet her alternate self, the Red Cat. This version of Natasha is a combination of both Black Cat and Black Widow, which you'd think would make her known as the Black Cat still, or the Cat Widow maybe, but nah, she's the Red Cat because her hair is red and her suit is red, so Red Cat. In the comic Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality, Red Cat appears as an ally and lover of Spider-Man in this world, and also ends up being a traitor to him as well. She is presumed to have abilities similar to the 616 counterparts of both of these characters, meaning she is a master spy and an escape artist, and also presumably has luck-based powers, specifically causing bad luck to those around her. Number 1. That's not all they do. While many people know about Black Widow's wrist shooters, which are often used to shoot out energy blasts or small tasers, which have been referred to as Black Widow's Bite, that's not all these weapons can do. Initially, her weaponized gauntlets were known simply as bracelets, and they seemed to be pretty much just that at the start. They were just bracelets, with the KGB officially even calling them bracelets. They would deploy a line that Widow could use to swing around on, but after meeting Spider-Man, Natasha was inspired to do some upgrades to her bracelets. At times, they have apparently been reported to be up to almost 9 pounds in weight each, due to their complex inner workings and their versatility. In addition to her Widow's line and Widow's Bite, the gauntlets have also been known to emit tear gas, knockout gas, and carry explosives, while also being used as a communication device. The knockout gas ability has been referred to as the Widow's Kiss. Although I feel like, you know, if you kiss someone and it makes you like be knocked out, that doesn't seem good. That's about it. Enjoy your day or evening, wherever you are in the world, and as always, you stay nerdy, YouTube.